there's a subject you wish was funny, you can just say the subject, and we'll see what happens. Okay? It's like, what do you want to talk about? Don't be shy. It's always fun. I don't make fun of anyone, right? And it's also it's you. Oh, we've got one here.
What's your most offensive joke?
Most offensive joke. Okay. So I'll tell you the most offensive joke, which I don't do anymore. I don't do anymore because I it's not the one I think people think is most offensive, but I stopped doing it, and I will say, like, a woman told me why she thought I should stop doing it, and I thought she was right. And so I'll tell you the joke, and then I'll tell you why I don't. So the joke is this. You know when you break up with someone, right? And they start doing stuff with their new partner that you used to do? It always hurts, right? And my ex, she went to the Lake District with her new partner, and I'm like, that used to be our thing. It broke my heart, right? And then, like last week, he sent her flowers at work, and I was like, I used to do that. And then last week he punched her in the face. Now look, I'll tell you, it is funny, but the way she persuaded me to stop doing it wasn't that she was offended. She just said that she was someone who was had domestic abuse, right? And she still remembers watching television with her husband who used to beat her, and when a comedian came on who would make a joke about that subject and he would laugh, it would make her feel like it was happening again, right? And that made me think that, not because she's offended, but I was like, I don't want to be that, right? You know what I mean? Like, one of my favorite quotes is there's someone who said that comedy should art should disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed. And I was like, I don't want to be on that side. So I stopped doing that joke. But that's the one which I think was the most offensive. Yes. Any other questions? Also questions for Dom. Is Dom around?
Oh, man.
Yeah. Dom can come. He went to watch the other show. How was it?
Yeah, it was good, yeah.
It was good. He was in the other room. But he's back. So, any questions?
Do you have any children?
Do I have any children? I don't have any children.
Just me.
Just you. It is true, though. I give you advice sometimes.
I ask for too much.
So, I give you an allowance. No, I don't have a kid, but the person I'm seeing now, she has a kid. This is the knife kid. She was not happy about that joke. But I'll tell you the truth, is like, maybe it might seem insensitive to make jokes about that, but I actually think that the fact that I joked about it is the reason why in life I actually don't have a problem, and I was really supportive and stuff. I get my frustration off on stage, so I don't have to be frustrated in the relationship.
You should watch his TED talk.
Yeah?
No, it's about that.
It's a TED
Sounded
talk
like an
about...
insult, but he's actually got
It's true.
a TED talk.
I've got a TED talk about dealing with pain on stage. Any other questions? Yes?
Are you allowed to go back to Malawi after the flag joke?
Am I allowed to go back to Malawi? So what she's referring to is, some years ago I got in serious trouble with the Malawi government because I did a joke about the president. It's not the same here. Here I can make fun of Rishi Sunak, no problem, right? They had changed it wasn't even that like revolutionary a joke. They changed the Malawi flag from a rising sun, right, to a full sun. As a metaphor, we're no longer a rising sun. We're now a full sun. And I just said, look, there are food shortages in the country. People are on strike. I think we should change it to an eclipse. And at the time, my dad was in the government, so you'd think I was safe, but then front page of every paper was minister's son ridicules government, and then the censorship board was after me, and I had to just leave the country. But yes, it's a new government, I'm fine. The current president actually met me and shook hands with me, which was exhibited a lot of maturity because I had been mocking him the day before. So yes. Any other questions for either of us?
Have you been heckled at all? And what's the word?
Yesterday.
Yesterday!
Yeah. Oh, there was this fucking horrible person I came out and speak, and she spoke before me. That's not the way this works.
She was so drunk, it was ridiculous.
She was quite drunk, yeah.
She was quite drunk.
And then there was this other guy who's a fellow autist. And he goes, made a joke about northern people. He goes, yeah. And I was like, you northern? He goes, I just want to know, what about all this wokeness? And I was like, what do you mean? And he just wanted to hear about wokeness. And then he asked Daliso about his opinion on the war. It's not good questions.
Not a good question for comedy. It was very bizarre. So you get it sometimes, but it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? We deal with it. There was a question up there. Yes?
Is there any place you would play?
Is there any place I wouldn't play?
Yesterday. Okay.
No, I wouldn't play like. No, actually, I'd play everywhere. I'd play anywhere, and I'd perform for anyone. I mean, I did say no to a corporate show for like a Tory fundraiser, right? But it wasn't the place necessarily as I thought that. No, and it was very tempting because it was quite a bit of money, right? If it was a bit more, I probably would have done it. But it was just that thing where I was like, if you're that, then you're that forever. And so I don't actually have a problem with comedians entertaining for a political cause, but I'm like, but you're literally saying you're that, and I'm like, I'm not that. So, but I would perform anywhere. Yes.
How did you both get started in comedy?
Oh, yeah.
Well, how did I get started in comedy? I did a course online.
He's not joking!
That's not funny. Is it?
It's funny.
Yeah, I'll stay out more.
Mine was literally just...
I had no interest before that. And then I did it and I thought, I'll just do this, I reckon. Now I'm doing this.
I almost had no choice. For me, it was that, like, comedy was how I coped with stuff. But not even like I used to read like funny books like Roald Dahl. I used to watch comedians. I never thought I would become a comedian, but that was what I loved. And so when I tried it, I think it was in my blood. And so it was just like, it was my favorite thing that had ever happened. And I was like, I have to keep doing this. And then I just kept doing it. I just went to an open mic just messing around like karaoke. And then when I did it, I was like, oh, this is what I'm meant to do.
Mine was funny.
Yours were fun?
Should do the course, I reckon.
Fantastic. Anything else? Anything else? Yes.
Least favourite country you've lived in?
Least favorite country? Oh, you want me to throw someone under the bus? For no fault of their own. Just, it was a rough time. Somalia was rough, right? But my dad was there working for the UN, so it was going through a very hard time. So it was Somalia, but it was just because life was rough. And I saw things which it's very hard to see when you're a kid. I saw someone get, again, this is not funny. I saw someone get burned alive. That's some crazy ass stuff. Like so it was a very well. I mean, I didn't know what it was until later because I was a kid and my brother dragged me away. And then you put the pieces together and you're like, oh shit, that's what I saw. So yes, that's Somalia. But it was no fault of the country. It was going through a war and stuff. It was terrible.
I've only ever lived here, so. Right, answer that one.
City though. What city is the worst?
City?
Oh,
dunno.
she said country.
Yeah, she said country.
What county?
Let's get it right, man. I didn't like my hometown, Somerset. Don't like it. Quite dull.
Anything else?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Still going.
You still talking? I thought you said Somerset's dull. I said, don't even listen to that.
No, I had nothing else to say. Go on.
Yes?
Would you have any advice for Sadak?
Would I have any advice for Sadek? So literally, she's asking me to solve like African problems. Right? And I think I've got the advice for Sadek. They need to have a comedian leader. No, I mean look, African countries have got a lot of problems, but like, we'll talk about it later. It's just
Who's Sadak?
so it's a region.
What's that place?
EU. It's a bunch
sounds like a
of
person.
countries. Sadek, yeah. There was someone else there. Yes. Ask away.
I was going to connect my question to her.
Oh, to her?
Yes.
Oh, this is the most deep Q&A. Okay, yes.
Zim is a mess.
Zim is a mess.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Zimbabwe.
Well, yes. So I think the problem is Zimbabwe have had the same party in power forever. Like people they kicked out Mugabe, but it's still ZANU-PF. Like literally, I will say that they did have one of the most funny transitions of power. So I don't know if any of you remember this. Like they had tanks go through the road and kick him out of power. But then when people called it a coup, they're like, no, this is not a coup. And I'm like, they were tanks. What do you need to make it a coup? But like, I just think, I don't even know, you need to have someone else in power. And a different, but you can't move those guys, they'll kill you. Well, I don't know what you do. How do you start a revolution? Anyone? Yes. Yes?
Who is your comedy hero?
Who's my comedy hero? My comedy hero is actually a weird one, people wouldn't expect it, but it's Joan Rivers. Right? Because she was revolutionary, like when it was actually dangerous to talk. You hear people talking about, oh, I'll be cancelled, really? Cancelled now is a few tweets, right? You used to get thrown in prison. She wrote about everything. Her husband committed suicide. She was telling jokes about it in a week.
Mine, Louis C.K., not for the things he's done. I like his comedy. He wanked in front of women. Obviously that's not great, but very funny. Very funny guy.
Was that on the course?
That was extra.
It's weird though, it does make me think, like, is there anyone who you admire who did something that you now can't watch their comedy or listen to their music? Because like, the wanking, you can still watch him laugh, right?
I think it's separate.
You think it's separate, but I'm asking the audience, clap if there's someone who you admire but you can't watch anymore or read anymore.
J.K. Rowling.
You can't read J.K. Rowling
No, I
anymore.
still read her, but
You still read it?
I pretend she didn't write it.
You pretend she did it, right? Okay, I got it. You're like, it wasn't
I can't get
her.
my Harry Potter tattoo.
It was Robert Galbraith. Anyone else? Any other? Oh, you've got a tattoo too. It's fine.
Shit, man.
Any others? Any others?
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly broke my heart. R. Kelly is rough because the songs were too good. I had to delete I Believe I Couldn't Fly and remix to Ignition. They're beautiful songs. I actually think when someone dodgy, we find out a musician with a great catalog was a nonce, right? As they're on their way to prison, call another musician to cover it. As R. Kelly was on his way to prison, they should have been on the phone to Jason Derulo. Start singing! Hey, David, your turn, sing it!
I already wanted to use I Believe I Can Fly at my funeral, and I was telling my kids that. And now
It's a bit sad, isn't it?
You wanted to use I Believe I Can Fly at your funeral? I guess you're flying to heaven.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of beautiful.
You know, it was beautiful, but then when everything happened, I now have to choose another song.
What's that going to be?
I don't know yet.
You don't leave it to your kids. They'll have Drake or something.
Yeah, I'm struggling for another song now.
This is longer than usual, but it's fun. Is it okay, theater people? No, I'm saying the venue. Is it okay? Okay. It's okay? Okay, thumbs up. They're fine. The last one or two. Any other questions? Yes.
What's your process for writing jokes, and how do you decide what goes in the show?
Wow. Okay, process for writing jokes. Start.
Me?
Yeah. Mine is long.
Well, I just sit and I do a spider diagram like I did as a kid. So it'd be like porn, a circle, and there'll be like loads of different types of porn. I spend ages doing it and get absolutely nothing. It's really annoying. So I just do that, sit, and then sometimes something comes to me. I go, that's brilliant. Why can't that happen more often? So that's what I do. Then I type it, and me and my mate send each other a joke a day. and then a £5 forfeit.
It's good.
Yeah.
Mine isn't funny, but it's literally I need to be angry about something, or big emotions, angry, or something makes me very happy, and then I just start like raging about it or trying to explore it. So it's like I was irritated by the asylum seekers flying to Rwanda thing. I started writing, and then a whole section of the show came out. I was very terrified by AI. Started writing about it. So I just obsess about something, and I talk about it a lot. And then the jokes start coming, because that's, again, that's how I cheer myself up. And anytime I have a breakup, there's a new show. And yes.
How did you two meet?
The lady behind me. I'll come to you and then.
Sorry guys, didn't it?
Okay, well, I'll ask him and then the lady behind him. So when did we meet?
Well, I gave him a lift. There
was a rail strike.
There was a rail strike, and he was like, "Oh, I need someone." You get gigs on Facebook forums for comedy mostly, and he was like, "There's a rail strike. I need someone to do the gig, like I did today, and give me a lift." And I called him within like 30 seconds.
Yeah, he was ready. He was on it. And I did watch a video clip to make sure he could make the people.
You said yes before.
No, but I had asked Martin Moore. I asked another comedian if is this guy actually funny, and I don't know if he paid him, but he was
Around the course.
Martin was like, yes, it was the guy who ran his course.
Yeah, so I just gave him a lift. If I couldn't drive, I would not be doing these gigs.
His first gig, I didn't even call him Dom. I called him bus replacement.
Yeah.
The lady behind you.
The problem is he asked so many questions, I ended up asking mine.
Oh, is that what you were going to ask? Is that what
I was
you?
going to ask, how did you guys meet and how did you start working together?
That was exactly it. It's all good. It's all good. Anything else?
If you were not doing comedy, what else would you do? What do you think we do now?
Drugs.
Drugs would be a funny answer, but the truth is, I think I'd be a journalist. Because it's the same thing. Something makes me angry, and then I turn it into something. And an article would be the same as a joke. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I'd like to be a professional golfer. I'd much rather do that. But I'm not that good at golf, so I can't be doing that.
Is that true?
What do you mean?
That was what you would if you were.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a professional golfer.
Oh.
My mum said she was going to pay for me to go to this really prestigious golf school, but then I did a sports science degree instead. What an idiot. I could have gone there. But I wouldn't be doing stand-up, so...
I think you'll be happier.
Professional golf is much more difficult to be...
Comedy's much more difficult.
No, it's not. You don't earn... No, how do you know? Have you done It's like if you do a golf event on the challenge tour, which is way down there, you £300 entry fee, and you might not, if you don't place, you won't win any money.
Okay, so you mean that part of it. But I was like, you think golfing is harder than writing jokes and performing and...
No, but to be a professional,
Okay,
I reckon.
well, good.
So I would be doing that, but I like doing stand-up. But like,
I still think you should combine them both. You like comedy golf?
I want to make some videos. Yeah, but I wouldn't want the audience that would bring. Be a little old man.
That's my audience!
Yeah, they're like, that's it. Can't be taking your audience.
We'll take two or three more and then we'll buzz it. Yes.
Do you fear AI taking over the comedy circuit one day?
Well, it's interesting. So there's an AI. Did you listen to the
They
AI?
wouldn't do gigs for that little money.
There's an AI. There's an AI called Dudesy, right? Now I think it's been taken down, but it was made to mimic George Carlin, and they programmed it by it listening to loads of his jokes and him doing jokes about current day affairs, and it was kind of funny, right? But it's such an insult and such a horrible thing to do that his family got them to take it down. But I was watching that and then I was worried as hell because I was like, AI is gonna. But at the same time, I'm not that afraid of AI because I'm like, AI, okay, has not been traumatized. Okay? AI is not gonna is not desperate for the approval of strangers. It can't be a good comedian. Literally, it can't. It can't.
The one you spoke to was probably traumatized.
Oh, that lady? Yeah, she's...
I typed in to AI, give me a joke in the name of, in the, like,
Style.
voice of Daliso Chaponda, and it was like, I'm African, whatever. And then I typed in, give me a joke in the style of Hatton-Woods, and it said, who's that? I've got a question.
Yes.
Well, are you doing the sticks, USB sticks?
Oh, yes. After the show, I'm going to be selling my last show. My last 2 shows, I have them on USB sticks. Used to be DVDs, and then no one has DVDs. So it's USB sticks, I sell them for a tenner.
And then we just asked them about food. We do that.
Oh, yes. And then also after the show, he's taking over. But after the show, we're going to go for food. Where should we go?
Well, it's open at this hour. Although there's a Thai place and a Chinese place, I wouldn't mind doing that.
Sopa.
Sopa? What kind of food is that?
Thai.
Oh, and it will be open at this hour?
Yes.
If any of you want to come, then do it. No, we do that sometimes.
We do
Come
that
along.
sometimes. We do.
We'll get a table in there.
Yeah.
Probably. It'd be weird otherwise, wouldn't it? You know, perhaps. Yeah, come.
Okay, final 2 questions. Penultimate. Yes.
You seem like you do a lot of research for your jokes. How much time do you spend like researching?
I spend loads of time researching my jokes. In fact, like when but again, like if I want to write about a subject, I will get books on that subject and read about it, and it's just like homework, and I just kind of look at it like I spend 6 hours a day writing jokes or writing fiction or anything, but I could spend 2 hours of those reading about that subject, and it counts. So just lots. But I want to be the best, so. Yeah.
Absolutely none. Well, I don't talk about that shit, do I? Just something happened in my life, I go, that'd be funny. And then like the monk thing is staying with me.
But you know what's going to happen is you're going to run out of stuff. So
No, I'm not.
no. Like I used to do what you did. I used to do what you did early in my career. And then you've talked about everything. You've talked about every moment in your life. You've talked about everything that's happened. You have to start researching.
Well, could any of you picture me coming up here and talking about things that mattered? Like politics? Trying to think. Who gives a fuck?
It's a good point. It's a good point. And there was one final one. Who's the final? Yes.
How easy or how hard was it for you to break into the comedy scene?
Oh, how hard was it? Or how easy? I'll say for me, it's an ongoing struggle, right? Like, it's ups and downs, and so I had years of frustration, then I became famous-ish, and then I went down. And then now I'm sort of going back up, but it's all over the place, but every single second is amazing. And that's the thing, is the journey is a delight. It's my favorite thing to do. Like, my favorite thing today was this show. So, I love my job. So, even if next time I come, it's not even this room, it's now a closet. You know, they put me in a room with 20 seats, I'll still be having a ball of a time. So it's like, or if it's an arena, I'll still be having the same amount of time. So it takes a long time. It's very up and down. There are times you can't pay your rent, but then there are also times where you get overpaid for telling jokes. Like I did an award ceremony, and they paid me thousands for telling jokes, and I was like, this is ridiculous. So it's very up and down.
So I went when I moved to Manchester. That was quite hard because I'm Southend, and they do hate Southern people. And also work quite hard. And like if people put a gig out, I'd be like, I can do that, and I don't really care if it doesn't work. They didn't appreciate that, but now they like me, I think.
Yeah.
So
He's very keen.
very keen.
Like he does too many gigs.
Too many.
No, like loads of gigs. It's amazing. Like you drove down what 6 hours yesterday?
6 hours, yeah.
6 hours for a gig.
And then back.
When I started 2 hours, I'm done. You know what I mean? So no.
But you come that far too. But
I
you
have.
sat there
but-
sleeping. Instead.
He was driving. I was asleep.
So,
But thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you. That was the longest Q&A we had, but it was so much fun. Usually it's really quick, but you guys all had questions. It was wonderful. I was like, we could have done a whole show. Oh, there's even one. Yeah, so I'll be in the. So the foyer is full of the people doing Vigo's show. So outside.